I have no idea what this actually looks like because I am too far away from the camera. But I'm sitting in Venus's shell. So this morning I had a bit of a meltdown, and that's okay. Welcome everybody to Untethered Fridays. Thank you so much for coming. And this is my lovely room, and this is what I wanted to do with my lovely room. Sit in my lovely chair. I am sweating, and this chair is really nice. I don't really want to sweat in the chair, so I'll sit up. So that's kind of crooked, huh? Let's fix that. Ooh, la la. That's still crooked. All right. Anyway, so yeah, today I had a meltdown and it did not look good. I'm pretty sure lots of snot came out of my nose on my camera, and then I got up at one point and I did not look good. I saw my body and it was not well clothed. But you know what? That's what happens. That's what happens. That's what people do. And as anybody out there who's watched this before knows, that's why I'm doing this. To show people that there are different ways of thinking and there are different ways of being, and that here I am, a human being with problems you probably could relate to. Maybe you can relate to them, maybe you can't, but feelings that you can relate to. And man, it's warm. And it is my desire to show you that there are other ways to think, you know, and the way I'm doing that is by training myself to think other ways. So I just wanted to reiterate that for anybody out there watching. And I'm coming to you a little bit late today, and I'm sweaty. I had to go do some stuff and sweat, and then I had to take a shower because it was so sweaty, and I'm sweating again, even though I just came out of the shower. Anyway, you didn't really need to know that. Alright, so this morning I was very upset. So I think I want to talk about, there was something, what was it? I mean, I guess letting go is probably a good idea. Maybe dreams. Yeah, I think it was dreams that I wanted to talk about. Doesn't it look like I'm in the shell? Like, isn't that really silly? Isn't that hilarious to you? That's hilarious to me. It's like, I'm in the shell. Oh, it cracks me up. Even if it doesn't crack you up, I think it's really funny. Yeah, let's talk about dreams. So, dreams, you know, are, Michael Singer says we can work off karma in dreams. They are our subconscious trying to tell us something, right? Like, we have these blocks that, the way the blocks were formed was that something happened and we held on to it, right? We focused on something and we didn't let it go after it went. Like, most of the time we let almost everything ever in the universe pass through us without holding on to it, right? Like a car passes by, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I come in, I see my desk, I love my desk, but then I leave the room and I'm not thinking about the desk. It is a really nice desk. I don't care. just want to point something out here, right? So let's talk about my room for a second. So I have my mural, right? It's Botticelli's The Birth of Venus. We've got spring over there, and then spring is coming out of the woods, right? And then the woods extends into the room. So I'm actually in the forest in here. The green is the trees, and then as you go over here, this blue color is the shade between the trees, right? So I'm in a cool forest right now, and then we've got the flowers that come up between the trees, right? And then we've got the blue wall over here, which is all cool shade. And then coming over here, we've got my desk, and it's gray. It's like a craggy rock, right? That's in the middle, it's like, and then this blue, I just thought of this the other day, because I was kind of upset about the colors. I'm like, wait a second. But the blue chaise lounge that has a pillow on it, spread my back and my computer, it's like in a, I don't know if you can see this, it's in like a wave pattern. Like, it's, what I think it is I think it's like a little brook, like coming down. Yeah, my hair's a mess. It's fine. You know what I mean? Like it's like a cool little stream. And so that's my forest that I'm in. I'm in a cool little forest. Okay, so let's talk about dreams. So Michael Singer says, well, the truth is, like, let's just go with the truth. So we have our Shakti flow, right? Our spirit, whatever, our chi, whatever it is that your tradition calls it, that's what's happening, right? It is our spirit. And we have our consciousness, which is us, right? Our consciousness is us. Like, one of the things I love that Michael Singer says all the time is, like, you do not have a soul, you are your soul. I love that, and it's so true. I am my soul. What I am is this consciousness. I'm not my body, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my feelings, I'm not even my Shakti. I am the consciousness. I am conscious of my Shakti. I am conscious of my body. I'm conscious of my thoughts. I'm conscious of my emotions. Right? So I am this being. But, so then here's the thing, right? There's consciousness, and then there's will, right? Which is part of consciousness. Okay, so we're not going to talk about dreams. We're going to, maybe in a minute, but we're going to kind of go off on something that I was thinking about the other day. So we've got our consciousness, right? And then there are two parts that our consciousness actions, maybe, that our consciousness can do. So there's will, right? And there's action. Will or volition. I prefer volition because it's, will is like, will, you know, volition's like my volition. if that makes any sense to you. I did have it in more, it's so pretty. I did have it in more defined terms earlier, and I will find them and figure that out. But those are like it's sort of like a trinity, right? There are trinities in life, and you see them throughout all religions, I really think. But I was talking to my friend David Cordero, who doesn't watch this anymore because he's busy. We were talking about how there's consciousness, there's will, and there's volition, right? I am my consciousness, I am my will, and I am my volition. Well, volition, action, right? I am my volition, I am my action. And there, it's three parts, right? There's the main consciousness, and then there's action and volition, right? So if you were talking about the Holy Trinity, it would be God is the consciousness. Action. See, I have this written out. I think we've decided that action was the Holy Spirit. And yes, and that Jesus was the volition, right? And it's really an interesting thought to kind of go with, but should I go on with it? Right now? Is it a little too much for a Friday afternoon? I wish Robin Thomas was here so we could talk about it. But yeah, so God is the consciousness. Consciousness is part of God, right? Everything in the universe is part of God. I'm just learning so much right now. I'm reading this book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I'm really into the quantum field right now. I've got to do some more research on it, but I've been hearing a lot about it in the stuff that I've been reading lately. And for some reason, that's what my brain is kind of hooking onto, which I think means that it's the sort of thing that I have to kind of go with. I also need to read The Alchemist because people were telling me about that often recently. Anyway, let's stay on the thought, which was, what was the thought? So everything is God. Our consciousness is God made conscious of itself, right? Or aware of itself. Like, all this cool shit's out here. God did all this cool shit, and he wanted to take it. I don't like that I go back to the paternalistic kind of naturally. Is that a Robin? So we are the universe made conscious of itself, made aware of itself. There's so much amazing things, so many amazing things out here, and the universe is like, let me go check this out. And anyway, God, I am all over the places today. So we have these samskaras, right? We hold things in our energy field by focusing on them and not letting go of them. And whether it was a good experience or a bad experience, it's bad to hold on to either one of them, because if it's a bad experience, the reason you hold on to it is because you're looking around, I don't want that bad thing to happen again. And if it's a good experience, you're holding on to a good experience saying, like, why isn't this happening anymore? Like, I want this to happen again. And that's attachment, right? That's preference. Oh, there's another freaking ant. Go away. Anyway. So, we hold on to these things, and the way I think about it is like we've got a clenched fist. And you know how if you clench your fist long enough, like opening it is like, right? Like it might take a little long and it hurts. That's how I think about how we're holding on to these blocks in our energy flow. Whenever we're feeling whenever we're feeling bad, it's because something's hit one of our blockages. And it's really quite an amazing system, actually. But in dreams, is that one ant? It's just one. I hope it's just one. In dreams, okay, so the blockages, right? At all times, our spirit, our Shakti, is trying to flow. It's trying to come around the blockages, right? It brings up the blockages so we can deal with them. That's why you'll be like walking and doing nothing and not thinking about anything, and then like boom, like something just gets triggered in a memory that makes you feel bad, right? Or it makes you feel good and then makes you feel bad because it's not happening anymore. That's what that is. Like it is your energy, your spirit, like being like, we gotta get rid of this, come on. But every time we grab onto it tighter and we pull it back down, right? And it is our habit now. And it hurts to let go. It really, really, really does. But once it's done, it's much better. It's just, there are so many levels to it. So in your dreams, what's happening often is that your Shakti is your spirit is trying to bring up these blockages so you can deal with them. And in your dreams, you actually can work this karma off because you can actually work out some of your blockages. But mostly, like if it's a bad dream, that's like our mind, we so don't want to think about it that our subconscious mind has to trick us. You know what I mean? Like it has to trick us. So it catches things in symbolism. Like maybe someone betrayed you and it's just too painful for you to face. So you have a dream about an arrow that flies through the air, hits and keeps hitting the wrong target, right? That's your brain saying, okay, we're gonna deal with this, but you're gonna have to think about it. I'll just have to like put some cherries and sprinkles. Not that it feels really good, but so we can deal with it. Anyway, so there are those dreams, and then there are like the wish fulfillment dreams, right? Like last night I had a dream. I had a couple of dreams. First one was about my ex, and we were talking again, and we talked about the woman that he has to marry. And the way when he talked to her, whenever he referred to her, he was just like, oh, the woman that I had to marry because my mother made me, who isn't like as much as isn't what I would really want to marry. And for some reason in the dream that was a hint, like just like hinting, like it was clear. But obviously that's what I want, right? That's a wish fulfillment dream. Of course, in my waking mind, I'm like, maybe he was dreaming and our souls touched, and then he told me that. Like, yeah. But yeah, he was like, yeah, this woman who I had to married because my mother is making me marry someone, and she wouldn't let me marry the person I want to marry. So, and then there had something to do with sand, and I'm not really sure if it was like, it was just the feeling of sand, which was kind of gritty and, you know, like wet, kind of wet sand, like the way it would get like in your bathing suit or in your bed when you're sleeping. You're trying, it's just, you can feel the sand against your skin, only it was more against my soul. It's weird. I'm not quite sure what that was. But then I had another dream. Oh no, I'm not going to forget it. I'm not going to forget it. It had to do with him again. He wasn't there. Shit, I should have written this down. Oh, motherfucker. You know, when you're like, oh, I'll remember that. But I was kind of realizing, let me see if I can think about it, guys, because it was very interesting, and it's a good example of like what things mean in dreams. Because dreams, ultimately, yes, there are symbols that cross-cultural. They're like the teeth falling out thing, right? Or running from something, or being naked. Like those are things that everyone across the world dreams of, right? And we all interpret them in different ways. But really, what's really true is that everything that's going on in a dream is happening inside your head. So every part of the dream is you. And you have to look at it knowing that. Knowing like, okay, well, that person, that was me too. I wish I had, I gotta spend some time thinking about this, because it had to do with him. He wasn't there, and I can't remember. I'm gonna have to sit down and remember, because I don't want to sit here and think about it for 10 minutes while I'm on camera. But I'm trying to think of another dream that I can give you an example for. A lot of it was like, you know, someone, like the possibility of getting back together. I don't know what it was. I don't remember what. Should have written it down. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna see. No, I'm forming a samskara. I'm gonna leave that alone, and come back to it later. So that's just something I want to encourage you to think about when dreams come up and you're thinking about dreams. You're like, oh, what does this mean? Everything in your dream is inside your head, so it's all you. And if someone is, it was such a good example of it too. If someone, let me come up with something else. If you are in a fight with your mother, and your mother is driving a car, and you stop outside an ice cream place, and you go to order ice cream, but you don't like the ice cream that you ordered, and you fight more with your mom about it because she wants vanilla and you want mud pie, right? Let's try an example like that. I don't know, okay, so your mother in the dream is you, right? Like, so this is someone who, depending on how you feel about your mother, this is that part of you. And you're fighting with that part. So that is you fighting with the mother, the part of you that is your mother. That is that, whether it's nurturing, or maybe she was kind of a little demanding, or whatever, however you have internalized your mother, that's what you're fighting against in this dream, right? And she's driving, so that means that you, in your mind, are feeling like that part of you, the internalized mother part, is what's driving your actions, is what's controlling you, right? It's what's bringing you, it's deciding where you're going, it's in the driver's seat. But then you stop outside of an ice cream place, right? And what does an ice cream place mean to you? I get happy about ice cream places. So you stop at an ice cream place, and it's like, oh my God, my mother, okay, I was frustrated and I was fighting with my mother because I'm fighting against this part of me that is my mother, and then she's in the driver's seat, so she's controlling, and so obviously that's how I feel. I feel like in my life, that part of me is what's driving my life. And then we stop in front of an ice cream place. So, oh my God, actually, this mother figure got me to a place that I really love, and it's going to make me really happy. And I get there, and I don't like the ice cream. You know, so that's a big disappointment. And like, this is a great dream, just as far as analyzing it is concerned. So, you know, you don't like the ice cream that's there. So it's a huge disappointment. And maybe that's telling you that the mother part of you that's been driving you and you've been fighting against, but has brought you brought you what you think you want, but then it's not, right? That's how I would interpret that dream. But it's a different dream that I had about Iran. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. I have a lot of work to do, and I hope that's useful. I don't know. I kind of babbled for a long time, and that's pretty much what I didn't babble. That's not nice. My mother used to tell me I babbled. I expounded upon my thoughts for a little while there, and I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. We'll talk more later. But that's Untethered Fridays for today, and yeah, I'm glad for you. I'm glad for all the things, even if they're uncomfortable, especially when they're uncomfortable. Like this morning when I was having that meltdown, like it's bringing me closer to being able to let go. It is. I'm working some of that off. I'm letting go some of that. So I can be grateful for the meltdown. I can be grateful for the breakup. I can be grateful that all of that is happening because it's part of my emotional and spiritual growth. So before I sign off, I want to remind you that you can always choose. You can. Sometimes you don't feel like it, but you can always choose to have a grateful day.